What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 106 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
Not a whole lot. We just had our first IRL event this past weekend. Brisbane is in the books as of when this episode will go live. Unfortunately, we don't have data for that yet because we're from the future or past or whatever. And
Yes.
and
Yes,
it hasn't happened yet as of recording.
Correct. So expect an event breakdown for that next week. I'm actually really excited to get back to team report breakdowns of events and
reports,
stuff because we haven't done one in 2 years.
I mean, we kind of got it for the Players Championship events and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
But they did all that work for us, and now we get to kind of just see what they're going to show us, if anything. I'm more excited to see how they coverage works and all that stuff.
I'm really hoping they give us actual team breakdowns, but I doubt they will. They're not going to be like, all right, here's my 252 EV Pokemon or anything like that. It's just going to be like, all right, here's my 4 Pokemon, here's my 6 Pokemon, my 4 attacks, and cool.
Exactly. We also just had the IC this weekend too. So that's cool.
We were literally working on a team for me before we started. And
you were working on a team for you.
You didn't stop me.
How am I going to stop you? You're not next to me. I can't slap you.
That's the best way to put it. I was doing things and you didn't tell me to stop. So we just kept going down the rabbit hole, and here we are.
Yep.
I'm excited to talk about that next week too, and talk about how much of a meme this is.
It can't be as bad as my first game in the IC. I lost to Quick Claw Sheer Cold turn 1 on my Zacian from a wall rain.
I'm playing physical Mewtwo.
Okay. So what are we doing this week?
So this week we plan on with the return of in-person events and everything comes the return of traditional best of 3 tournaments. So we're going to go through today and just kind of discuss the nuances, the pros and cons of best of 3 versus best of 1.
Yeah.
And really go in depth about what each is good at and what the other really benefits in doing. So that's the plan. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting discussion. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts as well. So let's get to it, man. What are you thinking?
I am in the camp that best of 3 is best practice.
I fully agree.
So there's not going to be a whole lot of hardcore debating then, because we both agree on the same thing. Best of 3 practice is probably the best type of practice you can get. Whether that's just playing in events or getting with a buddy and playing things like that, which shameless plug here, the LRL Dojo is doing really well.
It really is. I am glad to see that it is taken off as well as it has here the last couple weeks. I believe this week we had 24 people I think signed up. So really, really satisfied with that. And we have our best of 3 tournaments going on, but this is just a simple little play a best of 3 this week, come and report your scores and earn points for doing so. It's really simple.
There's no real hard commitment to anything. If you need to drop out of your match, you can.
It's no big deal.
Yep. But I think best of 3 practice overall is just far superior to best of 1 practice. People will get on ladder and preach that, oh, I'm number 1 on ladder, or I'm doing really well on ladder, and that's fine, cool. That just tells us that you got really lucky a couple times, dodged a lot of the harder matchups, and played really well when it mattered. Sometimes best of 1 is cool that way, and if you have a team with a really good gimmick, you're going to climb the ladder no problem. Whereas in best of 3, that gimmick works well the first time. and then kind of doesn't really work so well the next 2 times because your opponent knows it's there, and you got to learn how to adapt. And if you can't adapt because your gimmick is all your team does, then you kind of stuck behind the 8 ball. So if you, especially if you're looking to go into these regionals coming up, like Salt Lake City this weekend, Liverpool the weekend after that, would definitely recommend doing best of 3 practice over best of 1. So I think best of 1, the best way I can describe it is it's really good when you're like feeling out a team, when you're trying to figure out how to play, what to play, things of that nature.
It's really good at figuring out if the core idea of a team is going to be beneficial in moving forward with what you're trying to do, I think is the best way to look at it.
Yeah.
You're able to really define and figure out like what fits well together, what team members aren't really pulling their weight, and how to just adjust from there and, make things work and make them coherent.
Yeah. Outside of that, just like best of 1's, like I associate best of 1 just team building only. Like when I'm putting the team together, when I'm testing the team, when I'm trying to like figure out my partners, like you said, that's what best of 1 is good at doing. And I don't like taking results from best of 1 and trying to translate it to best of 3 because it just doesn't work. Half the time on ladder, you're going to run into a gimmick and it's going to get you. Like, and then you'll never see that gimmick again. And it'll sit there and it'll be a focus point because you lost that game really, really hard. And you'll have to sit there and you'll go, well, why did I lose this game? Well, it's because they did this. So how do I adjust for that? And you don't need to adjust for that. That's a very knee-jerk reaction that you get in that best of 1 format, because those are what stand out. Those losses where you got beat by the sheer cold quick claw Walrein. Like, you can't predict that stuff. You're gonna focus on that so hard that you're gonna lose sight of your team building and lose sight of what's actually good, what's actually bad.
For sure. I fully agree. I think another thing that, honestly, for the sake of like the counterpoint, you can do a lot more just like gimmicks in best of 1 where, you can do this crazy sheer cold quick claw stuff and it can work from time to time. And like, if you're playing for fun and just want to do, if you want to do, I used to watch a lot of Jeff Hoagland's content for Magic, and he always described viewer-submitted decks that he played as one of 2 things. This is either a deck that really wants to, be honed and like skill tested and played a ton to see how good it is, and then you have the other decks that are do the thing decks.
Yeah.
And I think that really translates well to Pokemon as well, as, you have these teams that you can ladder well with because they're very strong teams, and the counterpoint of that is you can do your memes. You can do the fun thing for the sake of doing it. The teams where, all right, I'm going to double kick my Amistar to proc policy and weak armor and go off. Just these off-the-wall gimmicks that when they work, they're fantastic.
Yeah, like Lava Plume Groudon to activate your Colossal, or other just random memes like that. Like that, the surprise factor is very strong in best of 1, and you can utilize that effectively to climb the ladder really, really fast. Is it good practice?
Oh, absolutely not.
No, I wouldn't say it's good practice. It's great at figuring out your leads and like how you win games when you get to do the thing. It unfortunately means that you never really get to test against that team again that you just beat, and you don't really know how to adjust for like a game 2 or game 3. So the people that play that way, like play Showdown all the time or play Ranked Ladder and grind to whatever top 100 with their gimmicks, they don't adjust very well into games 2s and 3s and can kind of just falter in those situations.
Now, the counterpoint to that is, in best of 3 experience, being able to adjust is a very big thing. Being able to say, okay, this is what my opponent did, this is what I lost to, or the counterpoint, this is what went really well for me, this is what my opponent needs to respect, makes it where there's more information for you to give and learn from in a best of 3, in my opinion. Where you're able to say, okay, this Cali Shadow is playing Dark Pulse for the mirror. I know that now, and I can respect that. So as a result, if they're Sash or if they're Life Orb, I can target them appropriately to take them on or whatever else. Being able to figure out these minor nuances where you're able to pick up this extra information and abuse that in some way is really good for you.
Yeah. Like the whole idea why we're talking about this is because everything is going to be best of 3 from here on out again for the most part, especially if you're going to these regionals. Like all my practice we went to Collinsville was best of 1. I never actually played best of 3 with Pokemon, so I never really had a whole lot of adjustment experience, like pivoting and things like that. My team was very linear, did 1 or 2 things really well, but couldn't really pivot away from that because that was the whole identity of the team. And now that like we're 2 years into this, I have figured out a whole lot more. My teams are very much more in the standard category, and I'm ready to play more best of 3s, but now everybody's wanting to play ladder events because ICs and Showdown and all that, because that's what we've been used to for the last 2 years. So my current advice is find a buddy and play in practice. Like practice a ton. Just play best of 3s on Showdown. Treat them like they're on cart though. Don't switch your moves around. Just like take your time for your decision making and just slow down and play. That's a big thing for me is I am very fast on the buttons when I'm playing on Showdown, and I lock in way too quick. And then I'll pivot back out and I'll change it around like 4 or 5 times trying to decide what I want to do. And then my opponent just managed to click their last input in while I'm trying to switch one of mine, and then it locks mine in when I didn't want it to lock in. And so, like, if you can practice on cart. That is the best practice you can get. It kind of helps you to figure out, like, timing windows and things like that. Showdown's not the greatest about that because there is this thing called the internet, and it does kind of lag between inputs and whatnot between you and your opponent sometimes.
I have lost draft league matches to it, so I understand completely.
I have seen many a game where it just kind of freezes for like a half second, and you had locked into something, but you had clicked cancel, but it didn't accept the cancel because it froze, and then you're locked into some garbage, or you timed out because of that. But yeah, like best of 3 is a whole different beast. I feel like that people aren't really prepared for all the time.
And talking about like learning how to use like Showdown for best of 3 experience. Honestly, like recording my matches on there for specifically like content and everything that I've done for like RTT and my matches in USPA and stuff. The one thing I've learned is that taking time and actually talking through lines really does help in learning not only like the thought process behind everything, but like just being able to say, okay, this is something my opponent could have here, or the other thing of my opponent has shown me this, so I need to respect it. Oh, my opponent showed me ally switch game 1, so I need to be able to respect it the rest of this match.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is honestly very probable.
Yep, and the inverse of that is true is this is a game of hidden information versus known information a lot of the time. And what you hide is actually more important than what you show a lot of the time. Like, the best example I had is you hid that Jigglypuff in RTT playoffs.
Exactly.
All the way up till game 3. And then when it mattered, you got that Perish song off, and that's what won the games because your opponent hadn't seen it until when it mattered. Just in little things like that, like ally switch, like you said. Oh, things like Will-O-Wisp or Thunderwave. Hiding that information until it's absolutely necessary to show it is huge.
Another one that I think is like really popular, especially compared to best of 1 versus best of 3, is protect on like Cali Ice. In best of 1, you don't need it because you can just max guard. But in a best of 3, you may not be Dynamaxing your Cali Ice every game. Yep. Being able to come in and click protect in front of something could be very important, especially if you are going to try to set Trick Room with it as well. So there's just so much nuances of like the difference between gaining information in between games versus just smashing your head against random teams on a ladder really can make a huge difference.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about the positives, I feel like, of best of 3, and not so much the negatives. There's not a whole lot of negatives in best of 3, since that is like the main way people enjoy like competitive Pokemon outside of Showdown and ladder tournaments.
I actually have a couple negatives. The first one being that there's no competitive like best of 3 ladder because that's, it's not a standard practice to have. And if you look at like Magic as an example of this, best of 1 play is way more popular than best of 3 on their digital platform because, well, the second point, best of 3 takes way longer to play.
That was my first negative. Is best of 3s in Pokemon is a long thing.
It really is. If you go to official events, best of 3s are an hour-long round.
Yeah, like minimum. Like they will stop. Like eventually, they end up stopping you at the hour. But like, if every game takes 15 to 20 minutes, you're going up to that hour mark every single time.
If you're going to game 3, there's a chance that you are going to go to timer. Yeah. And so being able to efficiently practice, I think, is one of the biggest steps into being able to play best of 3 is finding someone to actually play against, because there isn't just a random ladder you can get paired into. It's always going to be some, hey, can someone play me? Or are you available to play? Or you have to go out of your way to actually play it.
Yeah. Like, you have to, like, we're lucky enough that we have the setup here. We're setting this up for people to kind of do, and other servers have bots that do it, and it's very nice. But, like, before us, this is like, what do? Like, you have to go to Showdown or VGC or, like, troll the forums on there and try to find somebody random just to, like, hey, will you play best of 3 with me instead of best of 1? And you both have to have time to do that and things like that. Like, we recorded many a best of 3 in the day, and it's the better part of an hour and a half just to sit there and record and get paired up and do all of the stuff that you would normally want to do in a best of 3 just to, like, get prepared for stuff like that. And that's one of the big negatives, is just, like, time investment versus how often you actually get to play it versus just how much time you're having to invest. Now, Showdown kind of mitigates that because you can just skip animations, and once you find somebody on Showdown, it's super easy. You just play on your phone, play on your computer, or whatever. But like we said, practicing best of 3 on Showdown isn't the best practice because Showdown isn't cart. Like, you can swap around, and there's things to, like, there's more to best of 3s on cart than there is on Showdown. Like, time management is huge on cart. Making sure that you, like, utilize your time effectively because you have your time and overall time. And I don't think Showdown has an overall timer. It has your time and their time, like a chess clock, which that's present in cart, but there's also an overall time as well. And so games can just
go on infinitely
games can just end on cart, but that would go infinite on Showdown. Well, at least until everyone struggles to death anyway.
There's actually a Slowbro set that makes it where you can't lose.
Yeah. It's so toxic. I'll probably find a clip of it and I'll have it playing here, but it is terrible. It is so bad. But outside of that, just like there's good things and bad things about both. Like we said, like, if you can get best of 3 practice, go for that. It's going to be the best way you're going to get get better as a player like quicker, I would say. It's like your time invested versus how much you get out of it. Who you practice against also matters a lot, I feel like. Just grabbing the random person off the street isn't going to be the best practice, I would say.
I honestly think one of the best ways that you get better is to play people who are better than you. If you can not only play against people who are better than you, but also like discuss the match and talk through things with them afterwards, you're going to learn so much from them.
Yep.
Being able to say, oh, okay, so that's why this worked. That's why you did this. This is why I lost this, or I won this because I read this from you. Or yeah, it really does just help out so much by being able to play, honestly, being able to play anyone is better than not playing, but playing people who are definitely better than you and you can learn a ton from just helps out so much.
Yep. We learned a lot from being in that USPA team server for just like learning all these little tips and tricks about best of 3 practice that we wouldn't normally have like access to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I'm interested in seeing if USPA starts back up again, like in the next year or so. This was their first year, and I thought it was a whole lot of fun. It was really well ran. I think NPA is kind of overshadowing it right now, though.
Yeah. Well,
the whole play for your state or states or like little region thing was kind of cool.
It was really enjoyable. Obviously, I wish we had made playoffs and stuff, but I definitely really enjoyed it.
It doesn't feel as clicky as some of the other player draft things that we've tried to be a part of before.
And, the biggest thing about it is these are people who live relatively close to me. I could message them tomorrow and be like, hey, I'm in Kansas City. Does anyone want to meet up and, go eat, go get a beer, whatever.
Yeah. It's like we as people in like us who live in Missouri, our scene isn't very, very large. We had to combine with Kansas, which is whatever. No rivalries here. Oh no. To the surprise of no one. But like I know there's places like Illinois who probably don't have a very large following either. Like I'm pretty sure most of the VGC team for Illinois is based out of probably St. Louis. Like almost
there's a non-zero chance, yeah. Because I think most of our guys that were in for KSMO was on the Kansas City side of the state.
Yeah, like up in that whole area up there. I think you were probably the farthest east we had, probably.
I think there was 1 or 2 who were out in St. Louis, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I could be wrong about that. I'm not entirely sure.
I know places just like Rose team for like it was all just the New England, like it was just New England VGC. Their whole little server up there. They had like the whole region of just like 5 or 6 states. So it's nice that we get to meet up with other like people who know how who like to play VGC, because let's be honest, we had a little bit of a cult following when Sword and Shield came out, and then they're all gone.
Yeah, well,
Yep. But now we have the community and we don't have to worry about that too much. We have all of our online friends now.
So I have, Bauerdad on in the background.
Oh gosh.
There's a Weavile and a Rhyperior and an Alolan Ninetales on his opponent's team.
Oh no.
Oh man.
So much for people taking this IC seriously.
But Carl, there's points on the line.
It's like top 1,000 gets 1.
Sure, man. Whatever.
What else are we talking about this week? We kind of burned out on our best of 3 versus best of 1.
I honestly think like the discussion we had was good.
Yeah. It didn't fill out the whole episode like I wanted.
Well, let's see. We have Team of the Week we can load up.
Sure.
Talk about it for a hot minute.
This one's done made its rounds. We're first.
Yeah, I
But
recorded this over a week ago now, and it's been up on the YouTube for almost a week. So, yeah, this is NG's team that he submitted that I believe Alex built with. I believe Alex played it in the IC and someone else built it. I'm not entirely sure of who that was.
yeah,
But this is Alex's rental code. I do know that much.
yeah. And then NG played it in the LRQ to a top 4. Played really, really well. The team is very interesting.
Oh, it's very unique.
I will say that it is very well built. A lot of the things that you have access to are very powerful. They're just in different roles than what we're used to.
Oh, for sure. So, this is Cali Ice plus Kyogre, a very powerful restricted duo that we've seen multiple times in the format so far. Of course, we have our weakness policy on Calyrex, the most common item, probably, debatably the best item. I don't think there's any, I think the only other thing you could probably debate is, Lum, or maybe, Babiri. But I much rather have Lumberry.
We have a team to talk about later. Then let me tell you about this Babiri Calyrex Ice that I saw.
Is this the team that Cybertron is playing?
Oh, I didn't know about that one. I ran into it on Showdown.
Oh, I'm assuming that's why then.
That's probably why. Then.
I saw that he posted it, and in the thumbnail there's a Babiri Berry and a Calyrex. But I haven't actually got to watch it yet.
The sucker had body press and iron defense or something like that, and it almost bodied me.
Let's see. This is iron defense, body press, Trick Room, Glacial Lance, Babiri Berry, Cali Ice.
Yep, that's it. That's what they were playing.
White Herb Rillaboom.
I don't know about that. I didn't see the Rillaboom.
Eveltal.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's because Aaron was playing it. Cool. So, getting back to what NG was doing, to trigger a policy, we have a very unique Pokemon in Alolan Executor.
Yeah.
Citrus Berry Harvest, pretty good set. We have Grass Knot to be able to do a ton of damage against opposing Kyogres and Groudons. Brutal Swing to be able to proc our policy. Sleep Powder because LOL, why not? And then Trick Room because, it's a Trick Room oriented Pokemon.
Yeah.
Being able to pair this with Calyrex. I believe you underspeed Calyrex, but I'm not sure by how much.
Calyrex base is 50. I believe Alolan Executors is 40.
I literally have Showdown open. Give me 2 seconds.
My one thing about Grass Knot, I'm currently playing it on my team just because I really want it. That's the only grass move that Pokemon gets. I
45.
know 45. Okay, so yeah, so you're Marowak. You're Alolan Marowak speed tier.
Yep.
So for those of you looking for min speed Alolan Executors, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 0, 1, 2, and 3 are your magic numbers at minus natures. But the thing about Grass Knot is you can't hit Dynamax with it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not if you need to hit it with a grass type move and you can't use Grass Knot, you're kind of just stuck because your Calyrex has the Seed Bomb and so I feel like having anything other than Grass Knot is fine on Executor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it gets access to stuff like Giga Drain, Mega Drain, stuff like that. I know it gets access to Wood Hammer. I know it gets access to some other random grass moves like that. Outside of that one Grass Knot, the rest of this team looks completely fine. This Incineroar set is super duper cool because we have Assurance instead of our normal Throat Chop or whatever. So you can get away with doing the random double ups into Calyrex and just blowing it up.
Yeah, it's very, very unique. I think it only came up once while playing the team, but having dark coverage on Incin just felt good as well.
Yeah.
The one thing I will comment, and I kind of talked about this last week when we recorded, the Zapdos Kyogre core feels very, very powerful, but in doing so, you have to be well prepared for, like, specifically Gastrodon. It was a Pokemon that came up exactly once and felt very threatening in the match that I played against it, where I'm just like, well, I literally can't touch this. Cool.
Yep, that's why we play Seed Bomb on our Calyrex Ice.
Yep. Which, I even said in team preview, I believe I said something along the lines of, oh, I'll deal with that when it happens, if it does. And then I didn't bring any Pokemon to deal with it.
Yep.
So, Indeedee felt good. I really like the idea of Psychic Surge in this format, being able to shut things like Fake Out and all the Prankster Pokemon down, specifically Grimmsnarl. I hate that thing still. Plus, like, having Focus Sash on Indeedee just means that you're able to live a hit like you need to and get up your Trick Room or whatever you're trying to do next to it.
Yep.
And then in the event you do actually get to hold on for another turn, you can just click Follow Me or Helping Hand or even just like Expanding Force to do chip damage. Like, Indeedee is meant to come in, take a hit, and go down. That's its job on this team.
Yep.
It is meant to be a meat shield, and it does that well.
The other thing you can do with this Indeedee is, like, if you really wanted to play a bulkier set, you could do like Psychic Seed and just tank things a little bit better. But outside of that, I think this team was really, really good. The Zapdos is a little awkward in my opinion sometimes, having Heat Wave instead of Weather Ball. I feel like if you're playing, like, the reason you're playing Heat Wave is to, like, beat up opposing Zacian. And if you're playing against an opposing Zacian, then you can just max Geyser them.
You can also just like max lightning them, and then you have terrain up, and you're gonna be able to hit them hard as well. Like, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I could take it or leave it, but I think I'm more in line to leave it.
It's just like it feels bad that, oh, we're a Kyogre team with Heat Wave, and I want to use Max Flare into this Zacian, but I can't do that because then I get rid of my Rain. That's the problem. Like, if they call it correctly, pivot the Zacian out into, say, Incineroar or something and eat that Max Flare, you just feel terrible because you just got rid of your weather. It's now wrong. You'd have to pivot Kyogre back out if you want to take advantage of that situation again, or pivot it in just to get it back for Hurricane shenanigans and whatnot. So that's just little nitpicky things about that I don't like, but I digress. That's just my preferences.
Yep, super minor thing, but it is what it is.
Yep. So now what? We've rambled about that for a little bit, and we got 30 minutes to fill still. I know we have our own events coming up here soon. We have a ladder event on the 16th. We have the LRQ, I think it's the 26th.
Yes, I'm pulling up the website now.
I'm about to say, website plug. Go check out the website. You can find all that information there.
Yep, we have the calendar right there on the front page that has the list of all of our events coming up.
All the way through July.
Come on. Internet, please. God, I hate my internet, man. Yep, so the 16th, we have our next ladder event.
Yep.
That Saturday, the 26th, we have our next LRQ. Going to give 2 more invites to the Invitational there.
Sign-ups for that will be opening probably this week, just to give people enough time ahead of time.
And then the following Wednesday, the 30th, will be another ladder tour as well. So quite a few events moving forward. We have the dojo going on as well every week. Those pairings go live on Wednesday. Aaron's taking care of all that. Thank you so much for that, my dude.
Yeah,
it was all his idea, and he is taking full credit and everything on it. So
we're trying to steal Deepek's bot, Frostlass bot, so it just automates everything and makes it easier for him. That'd be nice.
I agree. If we can get it, cool. If not, well, whatever.
They're not sure how to port it over exactly.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to figure that out eventually. Speaking of random Discord things, I got to fix the YouTube bot. It's dead.
Well,
It's just dead. It's never coming back, probably. Unfortunately.
Time to go find a new one.
No, more so I'd have to write one from scratch, and I don't want to write one from scratch.
Bigger rip.
Like, having it be just like a little zap made it easy to maintain and run, and I could update it whenever I want. Having to go out and write all the code and everything for it means that this is going to be more of a headache if I ever have to update it.
Yeah, but like also at the same time, it's just for us as well, so whatever.
You have no idea how often I actually update. I updated the Zap. I updated it a lot.
Yeah, I actually don't. Yeah,
I would have to go in
you.
and change some things around because I didn't like the way the grammar looked, and I would change something like that depending on the video. So there's a lot of back-end server stuff that you don't know about that I do in the background.
I tell you, I tell people all the time, you're the boss. I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah. Is Baronet still playing? Is he quit?
No, he's still going.
Oh, good.
There's currently a Relicanth and a Crustle on his screen.
Oh, God. What's his record?
6-3, 1554.
Wow, we are not getting very far, are we?
His instant just died to a Relicanth.
Head smash?
Head smash.
Yes! The poor man's meteor beam.
Relicanth also went down.
I'm not surprised. Wait, Relicanth went down because was it not Rockhead?
I'm assuming not. It took recoil damage, so I'm assuming not.
Okay, then, yeah. I'm tired.
You act like you worked today or something.
Well, I mean, I recorded a video.
That's close enough.
And edited a video. I made the thumbnail. I still have to upload said video.
It's more than I've done today.
Let's see here.
If I'm being 100% honest, it's way more than I did today.
Oh, what else can we tell people to get ready for regionals?
Let's see. We have Salt Lake City is
this weekend.
Soon?
It's this weekend of the upload.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Like, we'll be getting Brisbane data about the time that people are leaving for Salt Lake City. I know there's a couple big names there have been planning on going. A couple people in the server said they're wanting to go. They're not sure if they're going to get to go yet, though.
Yeah, I am not. I will not be going, but yeah.
I will also not be going.
Who knew Salt Lake City's out in the middle of nowhere and traveling to it is kind of costly. Flights
out to Salt Lake City have been expensive for like the last month and a half. And then no one wanted to schedule flights yet because you weren't 100% sure that we were going to have it because who knew about the world's state of the world at that point. Which we got recent updated COVID policies. No longer have to have the tests as long as your vaccinations are up to date and your booster's good. You're good. So that's nice.
That is nice.
You want to talk about the team you end up playing for the IC?
I'm literally in the middle of a game. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, goodness. Oh, no.
It's going very poorly, in case you're curious.
I'm not surprised.
My opponent Groudon plus Dusclops set Trick Room in front of my Colossal.
Oh, God.
And then missed my Meryl with Precipice Plates and triggered their blunder policy. This is going about as well as you would expect it to.
This sounds like a mess. Okay, hold on. Blunder policy? Groudon.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's a new one. I haven't heard that one in a while.
It outsped my Scarf Mewtwo.
Well, yeah. Isn't Blunder policy +2?
Yeah.
Yeah. A +2 Groudon's going to outspeed your Scarf Mewtwo 100% of the time.
I also am 0 investment Scarf.
Well, that's your problem.
I don't need investment. I outspeed my own Calyrex.
You want to outspeed opposing Regieleki, though.
I actually do.
Naturally?
I just killed my own Calyrex. This game's really bad. Okay, so
what did you do to kill your own Calyrex?
I clicked Earthquake with Mewtwo.
Oh, that's your problem. You needed to click your blow up button.
Okay, so while watching Power Dad, he had a match where um, he got self-destructed by a Ferrothorn. So that made me go on a goose hunt of what Pokemon can learn self-destruct.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. We went on a goose hunt there.
so that reminded me that we also have Misty Explosion, which then reminded me that we have Passimian and we can use Receiver to take huge power from Meryl.
Yep. That
So
is a meme we had a while back. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually played it though. So
No.
we have what?
I said no. I don't think you have. I think the one we did play it was Azurill and Runerigus for Wandering Spirit and Huge Power.
So we're doing very similar things, except Azurill doesn't get access to Misty Explosion, so we had to play Meryl.
Yeah.
It's the only downside. But we're Focus Sash Meryl, so we can actually get off a Misty Explosion. Weakness Policy Passimian, so that gets triggered. And then from there, we gain huge power from Receiver. And then we just punch things really, really hard.
But,
we have
but Carter, what if they
Acrobatics.
double up into your Meryl?
Then I'm not going to do my thing. If they're going to double into my Meryl, Passimian's going to punch them. Like,
okay.
Sure. So because we're, Misty Explosion Meryl, I decided, hey, we can play Colossal as well because we have Aqua Jet, which made me think, I don't have weakness policy for Colossal. I'm going to play Absorb Bulb.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like a poor man's weakness policy, but we gain +1 instead of +2 if we get hit by a water attack, which, hey, look at that, conveniently Aqua Jet is.
I'm sitting here looking at your Meryl's like EVs. Why are we just not max speed?
Honestly, I don't know. It's what it suggested.
Yeah.
You probably should be.
You should just be max speed. Like max speed timid.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds way better.
I don't even know what max speed Meryl is. It's not very fast.
101.
Oh boy.
So then it made me go back to the explosion plan to see what all we could do. Figured out that Mewtwo has access to self-destruct thanks to you. So then I'm like, all right, cool. Now we're physical Mewtwo. What can we pair this with to blow up? Hey, we need a ghost type. Cali Shadow seems really perfect. So that led to our restricted duo of Scarf Mewtwo and Specs Calyrex.
Yep.
And then, because it's a meme, we're choice banned Regieleki with Explosion as well.
We're going to blow up on some people.
Yes, it is not good, but it is a team I have constructed, and I'm very excited for this to be extremely bad. If I win a single game in the IC, I will be satisfied with my result.
Okay, then. As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
That's literally where I'm at, yes. Right now in testing, I am 0-1.
Womp womp.
But, whatever.
I am not going to share my team. At least not my EVs anyway.
Yeah, your team's good.
I wouldn't say good. It's at least decent, but
it's better than what I'm doing.
Well, yes. That's not hard to do though. That's not hard to beat that.
Very true. It's not hard to be better than a pile of dung.
I'm still not sure if this is what I'm going to be playing for Indy, but this is where we're starting, and we're going to keep working on this version and iterating on it. I'm dead set on Zacian and Yveltal. I think it's the strongest duo in the game, like hands down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once you figure it out, it's just going to unlock so many things for people. It's just trying to figure it out, what do you want to do with it. Currently we're doing double intimidate Blastoise things. And I'm not sure if that's the best version. If it's not, then we'll figure out what the next best version is. We started we've come on a journey. I have 7 different copies of this team.
I know you and Aaron and Angelo have been working on it for a hot minute. And Angelo's on the team building side with you because he also wants to play something similar. And then Aaron's just yeah, sure, I'll look into this. Why not?
So I have Blastoise from Aaron. I adjusted his set a little bit because I wanted more bulk. I have this Thunderous set is from Angelo and the New England server. It's nice. The cart version doesn't match the showdown version. I'm just playing Thunderwave just because it's a best of one format, and I'd rather just get lucky rather than play Scary Face.
Sure.
And then I have my Landers set, my Incineroar set, my Yveltal set, and my Zacian set that I've worked on. These are all things that I've had just from previous teams that work. The first iteration was the Marowak, Blastoise, whatever nonsense that we were doing before. And then we evolved to have, like, Lapras on there for some reason.
I do remember the Lapras version.
Lapras is not very good.
You know, I am not very surprised.
Like, it does well in certain formats, and this is not the format for it, I've determined.
I will agree, yes.
You really, if you're playing this duo, you want as many resistances to Zacian as possible, or at least ways to deal with it very well, because it's so popular. Which I have Incineroar, Landorus, and Blastoise, and all of those wall Zacian really, really well. And then I even have Thundurus to kind of just be annoying to it, and then Yveltal just doesn't ever want to be in front of it. That's just normal. And so, like, the original team had a Lola Marowak, and it did the same thing. It's just like, this is my Zacian check. Go. And,
can you beat this?
Most of the time? No, they can't.
Good enough.
It was cool, but, like, that team had a real big hole that I couldn't fill, and had to beat Zapdos. And now that we're kind of transitioning as this, like, super bulky Sun team becomes super duper popular, I don't know if you've seen this. So it is an Assault.
Is this the Ho-Oh Groudon team?
No, it is an Assault Vest Groudon with Choice Scarf Charizard, Iron Ball Grimmsnarl, and, like, Lefty's bulky Gastrodon. It's super weird, but it's, like, one of the strongest best of one teams right now in the format. And it's funny that once the format has started to slow down, the Sun team becomes the strong team again. You know what I mean? So the idea here is you can use Charizard as just, like, helping hand support, or you can just sit there and spam Heat Wave, or you can Dynamax it and blow people up with G-Max Wildfire and do whatever. You also have Trick Foul Play Grimmsnarl. And you trick Iron Ball onto him to get that immediate speed drop.
I have seen this, yes.
You also carry Thunder Wave and Light Screen. Because you don't need Intimidate or Reflect because you have Intimidate. Cool. And then Gastrodon's super duper standard, Incineroar super duper standard, Zacian super duper standard. Zacian is max speed because why not?
Honestly, sure, why not? Yeah.
Which it goes against the grain of every other Zacian we've seen, where it's super duper slow and very bulky, which so it's kind of cool. But if you're going to play if you played in the IC, you might have seen this team in the upper echelon, and this team's good. I can attest this team is really good. I got to, like, 1450 on Showdown Ladder with it, and just trying to, like, see how it worked, and I just blew people up with it.
Good enough for me. Honestly, sure, ship it. Why not? You know.
As a best of one team, this team is great, and it goes back to our conversation we had earlier today. This is the best, one of the best of one teams. In a best of three, this team does nothing. Because,
I can see that.
Because they once they know that you're Scarf Charizard, once they know that you're Trick Iron Ball, all your surprises are out the window, and you're just, what are you gonna do? You have to do the thing. Otherwise, if you don't do the thing, you're not winning the game because you're not putting up pressure. And so it's much harder when your thing isn't that good, or when your opponent has a good answer to your thing now that they know what's going on.
I'm trying not to die here, and it's not going well, if you can believe that.
Not going well? Come on, man.
This is the play. They Dynamax Yveltal. I'm very dead.
Well, yeah. I could have told you that one. I saw someone arguing about not going for attack, like not caring about your attack IVs. I'm like, that's fine for like everything else, but specifically Calyrex Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one you want to care. Now granted, it's a legendary, so you can just reset for it and whatnot and eventually get it. But like, it's not as easy as just breeding for a Pokemon. But like, that's the one Pokemon you do want to care about. I believe anything less than 11 means that Foul Play isn't an Oko from Thundy.
Oh, good.
I think that's
actually really good to know.
I think that's the number. I'm going to find out. I'm going to double check it. I did the math for it the other day because I was like, oh, what if I want to play Calyrex Shadow? What's the magic number I need to look for? Like, I know it's not 0. Like, 0 is whatever. But because Foul Play is such a good move, it's just like, well, you want to know how to not die to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, knowing is half the battle, G.I. Joe. So from Thundy, you take about 65 to 79 if you're 0. If you're 0 IVs.
Okay.
If it's Yveltal, which is the more common one, I think, Yveltal blows you up 100% of the time, unfortunately.
Well, that's unfortunate.
131 to 156.
Ooh, not even close.
Not even away. Like you could go.
Oh, that's really bad.
Like bulk HP still doesn't survive.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to be like max HP and like decent amounts of defense to even have a chance at a roll. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
One of the things I've noticed in my testing also is just like Sucker Punch is on its way out the door for Yveltal sets.
Mm-hmm.
Assault Vest actually is on the way out the door as well. Like, the more of these Yveltals are playing just like Life Orb Dynamax sets with like Heat Wave, Oblivion Wing, and Max and Dark Pulse for just max damage, which is super duper interesting. We'll save trends that I'm noticing for another video though, because we ain't got enough time for that.
I'm doing the thing and I don't know if it's good.
So that tells me that the team is definitely not good enough to win a game, probably.
My Passimian currently has over 500 attack, and I don't know if I'm doing the thing well enough.
If the thing is not strong enough to win the game, then it's not worth doing, bud.
I don't care. I'm having fun.
Are you, though?
I really am.
Okay, if you say so.
I got to do the thing. That's all that matters to me.
Sure.
This team is so janky. I can't wait to get people with it.
Oh, you ready to get out of here, bud?
I think so, man. I don't know what I'm doing.
We've kind of rambled on here the last half of this episode, but the first half was really, really good.
I feel like we do that a lot.
I think today was more, we had a plan and then our plans got changed because you didn't get home until late. And then,
yeah, we got home a little late, and then we were planning on coming up, but then the weather came bad as well. I don't know if you all have gotten anything, but man, it's pretty terrible down here right now.
So the roads were cleared up until about 5:00.
Awesome.
Right about 5:00, the snow started sticking to the roads.
Yeah, it was about that time when things started getting bad down here too. So I'm glad to see we're not the only ones.
Fun fact:
the problem.
My mother and father-in-law, who live in Tebbets, Missouri, they have 0 snow.
Awesome.
So, like 2 hours to the east has no snow whatsoever.
Fantastic.
If you go and call my parents, they probably also have no snow.
Yeah, it's so weird, man.
The snowstorm is weird. It's just like strictly this part of Missouri is all it's gonna have snow, and I don't think it's going anywhere until like tomorrow afternoon.
Well,
yeah.
Better late than never.
Also, it snowed like every Thursday except for Kayla's birthday for like a month.
Weird. It's so weird.
Been every Thursday for a month straight. And then it skipped Kayla's birthday, which was last Thursday. And then it snowed this Thursday. We've done most of our recordings from home because it's just been gross and you guys haven't come up.
Yep.
And then we got the one week we took off for have like us time.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't snow, so we had you up here,
able to actually get up there. Yeah.
Yeah, and
so weird.
Missouri weather, man.
I've lost a Scarf Kyogre twice. If they were literally any other item, I win those games.
I mean, people are having to adjust to that one team. Like, Trick Iron Ball means that you got to be able to beat that, and Scarf Charizard. Like, you got to be able to beat those things now, and Scarf Kyogre is how you beat those things.
Yep. It is what it is.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I've just lost the Scarf Kyogre again. I hate this, man. This is stupid.
Do you hate it more than Grimmsnarl yet?
No, nowhere near it. This is at least from a fun generation. Gen 3 is great, man.
I mean, Gen 8 was fine.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fine.
It's better than Gen 5.
All right, cool. Oh, they actually didn't KO me.
Are we getting it? Are we doing it?
Maybe.
We gonna do the thing?
I don't know. I have a Meryl in the back. I don't know.
I don't think we're doing the thing there, Captain.
Probably not.
Okay, let's get out of here.
All right, man. As always, everyone, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. If you're not, go ahead and come on over. We have all kinds of content going up every day of the week. Past that, if you're listening on either Apple, Google, or Spotify, make sure you drop us that fantastic 5-star review. It really does help us out and all that good stuff. And then from there, make sure you go and check out the website, lrlessons.com. That's where our calendar is and all that good stuff is to figure out what we have going on every day of the week, every week of the month and all that good stuff as well. And then check out the merch page while you're there. Go pick up yourself a fancy t-shirt or a hat or something else while you're there.
Stickers.
Yeah, we should have some new content coming up eventually. I need to actually reach out to our artists and see how things are going there, because it's been probably about a month and a half since I've heard anything. So let's see. Past that, come and check us out on Twitter at LR Lessons, myself at Mr. Missouri 25, Carlos at Musical VGC. You can come check us out on Twitch as well. I'm at Mr. Missouri 25 and Carlos at Musical. And then come and join the community Discord. That's where you get to hang out with us, play in all of our events, and just have a general good time as well. We talked about playing best of threes all day today. So if you're interested in that and need someone to test with, we have roles for that.
And we can help you out there. Yeah,
for sure. So
we have a lot of new people join for that too.
For sure. I'm really, really excited for the dojo and see how it continues to grow from here. So I think that's going to be it for me. Anything on the way out, Carl?
Make sure if you're interested in helping and you don't like merch, Anchor support.
Yep, go and check that out. That link is always down in the description. As little as 20 or 25 cents an episode, you can, help us out and keep Carl's lights on and pay for the computer. So
yeah,
that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Peace.